Good morning, folks. Mr. Long here. Today I'm going to do a screencast to get you ready to do a spreadsheet activity on exponent rules. Okay, so the nice thing is that the areas that you see grayed out here are just going to be drop-down menus, so you don't actually have to type anything in. You can just drop down, and sometimes you may have to need to type. So you may want to use a Chromebook while you're doing this instead of your phone. It might be easier for you. Okay, here we go. So the first part is just simplifying fractional exponents. Okay, so we know that we need the 3/2 factor of 64. Well, one of the easiest ways we can do that actually is we can recognize that 3/2 equals 1/2 multiplied by 3, right? That's a pretty straightforward calculation. So 1/2 of 3. So what I can do is, I know that in this scenario here, when I have an exponent on a power, I multiply the exponents, okay? So it's 3/2 is equal to 1/2 of 3. Now the half factor of 64, I can go on my chart here and that's going to be the 1/3 factor. The half factor, there's 2, there's 64, is 8. So 8 squared is 64, so the half factor of 64 is 8. Okay, so I replace half factor of 64 with 8, and then I have to cube that. I go back over to my chart. 8 cubed, come down and see where they meet, it's 512. Okay, so 512. Okay, that's fractional exponents. 4 to the exponent -5. What do negative exponents indicate? They indicate division. So we just take 4 to the exponent -5 and recognize that we have 5 factors of 4, but they're involved in division. They appear in the bottom. So it's 1 divided by 4 to the exponent of 5. I can go over to my chart. 4 to the exponent of 5 is right there. Oh, sorry, 4 to the exponent of 5. Base is here, exponent is there. So that's 1024. So 1024. So 1 divided by 1024. Okay, now we're going to do negative exponents with fractional bases. Okay, negative exponents with fractional bases. Now what we notice here is we remember that negative exponents indicate division, repeated division. So let's just go back over here. What happens when we divide by fractions? Well, how many times does 1/4 go into 1? That's what 1 divided by 1/4 means. Well, we know that 1/4 fits into 1 4 times. How do we do that mathematically? The procedure is just to flip the fraction and multiply. Okay, so it's 1 multiplied by 4/1. Well, the same thing is going to be true here. I've got a negative exponent, which indicates division, by a fraction, which means I have to flip from 4/5 to 5/4, and now I just make it to the, because with just regular fractions, I flip the fraction and multiply. Same thing here, flip the fraction and multiply, except this time I'm multiplying a multiple of times, so I'm multiplying twice. So then I do 5 to the 2, 4 to the 2, because the brackets indicate that exponent here applies to both the 5 and the 4. So that's 25/16 when it's fully evaluated. Okay, so on your handout, what you're going to be doing is, I'll just quickly go over to it. Your handout is right here, and then you're going to use drop downs. So you just go here, whatever you think you should drop down to, you select that number, and so on. You're going to use the charts that are given. Okay, the charts that are given right there. And then way off to the right, you'll see your answers. Okay, so there's the answer for number 1. Okay, folks, so that's the process. So you're going to have a link to this spreadsheet, and there are a total of 18 questions. Okay, so good luck, folks.